How cute isn't a small dragon mounted on your shoulder? How cool isn't it to be a knight that has been blessed by the magics of the dragons? Today, I welcome you to Dragon Week, hosted by Pointy Hat and Ginny D. Let's begin. How about we add some dragon to the fighter, with a Drakeblade Knight. Drakeblade Knights are elite warriors who have been forged a bond with the spirit of a primordial dragon. Through ancient rites and draconic heritage, they wield both steel and scaled fury. Their weapons shimmer with draconic energy and their armor crackles with arcane power. On the battlefield, they strike like a dragon's fang, swift, devastating, and nearly unstoppable. Now, when I made this subclass, I had my playstyle in mind. I play very high power games, which you will see from both the subclasses I will talk about today. But keep that in mind. At 3rd level, you get Drakeblade Bond. You form a magical bond with a draconic spirit, granting you the following benefits. Draconic Infusion. Choose a damage type: fire, cold, lightning, acid, or poison. Your weapon strikes count as magical and deal an extra 1d4 damage of that type on each hit with a weapon attack. This increases to 1d6 at 10th and 1d8 at 18th level. You also get Drake Vision, which is dark vision up to 60 feet. And if you already had dark vision, you increase the range by 30 feet. And Drake's Knowledge, which learns you draconic language, and you also gain proficiency in either Arcana or Animal Handling, your choice. Now, this feature is very powerful for level 3, I know that. Just getting extra damage, especially magical, at such an early level, is always going to be good. And Dark Vision for races that don't have it is always a powerful thing, as well as some languages and some proficiencies that can always be useful in a campaign. Now at 7th level, we will improve the movement with Draconic Stride. You move with the swiftness and ferocity of a hunting dragon. You gain a climbing speed and a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. You can take the dash or disengage action as a bonus action a number of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. Now, this might seem powerful, but it's a very limited amount of times, and you also don't get the flying speed, which you might think you would be getting here. You get that later at 15th level. And the last part of this level is that when you take the dash action, you can move through creatures, and when you do, it's treated as difficult terrain, and when you pass through them, the creatures must make a dex save, or get hit by your Draconic Infusion damage, which actually isn't that bad, because Draconic Infusion at this level only actually deals 1d4 damage, so it is very low damage for level 4. But again, you can dash as a bonus action, which does of course make this feature more powerful. Now at 10th level, you get Drake God Aura, and your draconic powers manifest in a protective aura. As a bonus action, you can activate a Drake God Aura for 1 minute. While active, you and your allies within 10 feet gain resistance to your Draconic Infusion's damage type. When a creature within the aura takes damage from a weapon attack, you may use your reaction to reduce that damage by 1d10 plus your fighter level. You can activate this aura once per long rest or twice per long rest starting at 15th level. So this really solidifies the subclass as more of a support role, as they really don't have that much damage anymore from the subclass features. Of course, fighters will always have good damage with attacks and such. At 15th level, you gain Wings of the Worm. You can summon spectral draconic wings from your back. As a bonus action, you can sprout wings for 10 minutes, granting you flying speed equal to your walking speed. While flying with these wings, you can hover, and when you summon them, you may take 1 melee weapon attack as part of the same bonus action. You can use this feature once per short or long rest. This does of course seem very powerful. Getting a flying speed and also being able to use the bonus action to do a full attack action is of course very powerful. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that this is only per short rest, while other classes at this level will be able to fly a lot more. And such, I believe this is actually one of the weaker features of this subclass, even if it grants you a flying speed, which is of course very powerful. The final feature at level 18 is Dragon Fang Rampage. You unleash the fury of the dragon within you. Once per long rest, when you take the attack action, you can enter a draconic rampage for 1 minute. During this rampage, you can make one additional weapon attack whenever you take the attack action. This stacks electro attack. Your draconic infusion damage is maximized, meaning that you will always treat the damage dice as the highest value, meaning that you will always deal a +8 damage to all your attacks. And when you reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you can move up to half your speed and make one weapon attack as a free action. This really allows you to go on a rampage through smaller creatures, while not being so powerful that it ruins boss fights, because of course the main thing with this is the extra attack, which is powerful one-on-one, but being able to one-shot creatures and then be able to get more movement speed and extra attacks is really powerful here, especially if you have more damage boosting items. Now for the Warlock subclass, Otherworldly Patron, the Wormling Tyrant. Your Patron is a being of unimaginable draconic power, ancient, rare, and world-shattering. Or at least they would be, if they weren't 6 inches tall. Whether through cosmic accident, a botched reincarnation, or self-imposed exile, this dragon tyrant has been trapped in a comically tiny form. Despite their diminutive size, their ego, arcane knowledge, and ambitions remain titanic. They now ride on your shoulder, or sometimes your head, whispering secrets, judging your life choices, and lending you magical strength in hopes that one day, regaining the full might. Now this is of course a more comedic subclass, while still remaining quite powerful. And you do get an expanded spell list with this, and it is quite good. You get Dragon Breath, you get Counterspell, you even get Fly. Dominate Person is powerful at 5th level. Shield at first is going to give you very good survivability, but I think the most important thing here is 3rd level, you get Counterspell. The first feature at 1st level is Draconic Channeler. Your patron grants you a fraction of the power through your own body. You choose a damage type, fire, cold, lightning, acid, or poison. When you cast a level spell, you may change the damage type into the chosen one. Once per turn, when you deal damage with a Warlock spell, you can add your Charisma modifier to 1 damage roll. And your tiny patron can speak, see, and hear independently. It perches on your shoulder or hovers within 5 feet of you. While visible, it sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius. This is really powerful, especially when you use it together with maybe a melee fighter that doesn't have dark vision, mainly. Because this is going to counter the effects of being blinded by darkness. And therefore it is going to really improve their abilities. So this is more of a support ability, while still being able to be used in other ways. Also, being able to change the damage type of a spell is always going to be very useful. At 6th level, you get the next feature, Pocket Tyrant. Your patron can now intervene in battle, if only briefly and dramatically. Once per short or long rest, as a reaction, when you are hit by an attack or targeted by a spell, your patron lets out a burst of power. You teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Each creature of your choice within 5 feet of your starting and ending position must make a dexterity saving throw, DC is your spell saving DC, or take 2d10 damage of your choice in draconic damage type. Additionally, your patron can taunt enemies as a bonus action. You can cause a creature within 30 feet to make a wisdom saving throw, or have a disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the end of their next turn. Very nice for reducing damage and protecting important people, especially since you as a Warlock are usually more survivable than other spellcasters due to you getting light armor proficiency in 5. Now at 10th level you get the Shoulder Commander feature. The Wormling is now strong enough to directly assist you in battle while still perched on your shoulder. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a level spell or Eldritch Blast, your patron may unleash a Draconic Strike, dealing an additional 1d10 damage of your chosen damage type. You can now cast Dragon Breath without expending a spell slot or material components once per short or long rest. When cast this way, it always uses your chosen damage type, and your patron grants you resistance to your chosen damage type. This really ups the survivability, especially the last feature. With the resistance, if you choose fire, you're going to be resisting a lot of powerful spells, but most elements here are still powerful to have a resistance to. Now the Dragon's Breath is of course nice if you're in a pickle, but the 10th level Dragon's Breath isn't really the most powerful of spells, of course. And the extra 1d10 damage every turn is of course just an added bonus. Your final feature at 14th level, True Tyrant Ascendant. At last, your pocket-sized Overlord reclaims a fraction of the true power, unleashing the wrath through you. As an action, you can unleash the Tyrant form, channeling your patron into terrifying draconic projection around your body for 1 minute. You get a flying speed of 60 feet and hover. When you cast a spell that deals damage, you can choose to have it ignore resistances and treat immunity as resistance. Once per turn, when you deal damage, roll an additional 2d10 of your chosen draconic damage type. Creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, who you can see, must make a wisdom saving throw. Your save DC is the DC. Or become frightened for 1 minute. They can repeat the save at the end of each turn. You can use this feature once per long rest. This is just a action that really makes taking care of enemies very, very fast. And it of course makes it so you can get through resistances, which is extremely powerful, especially since you usually only want to attack with maybe fire damage. It may help you get through that fire resistance that some creatures might have. And the extra damage is of course very nice, and it stacks together with the Draconic Strike, meaning that the first attack you land each turn is going to deal an extra 3d10 damage, which is very powerful, especially for Eldritch Blast. It's of course very powerful seeing that you can frighten everything around you, and this makes dealing with crowds of enemies and a lot of enemies at the same time very simple, because you can really avoid a lot of damage that way. Thank you for watching. It has been a very nice time writing this. I hate recording, but I really wanted to share my work here with the community. So thank you, and thanks again to Pointy Hat and Ginny D for making this opportunity.